Hey dudes! So today I have a review on the first book that I started and finished in 2014, and that is Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. This was the winner of my book haul vote. It received about 50% of the vote, I believe, just for this one book, so yeah, had to read it first. And let me tell you, I'm glad I read it first because damn was it a good way to start 2014. For those of you who are unaware of the background on this book, it follows Wade Watts. He's an 18-year-old who lives in Oklahoma City, but it's an Oklahoma City of the not too distant future. He lives in something called the Stacks, which is basically a version of RVs, motorhomes, all stacked up on top of one another. There's an explanation as to why these things exist in the future, but I'll let you figure that out when you read the book. Wade spends most of his time, as does most of the population, on Oasis, which is a virtual world online. Basically, the internet morphed into Oasis as time went on. People live virtually through it. It's well designed so you can, feel things and you meet people from all over the world. Wade's best friend is somebody he's never actually met except for in the virtual world. Wade's avatar in Oasis is called Parzival because most people don't use their real names. It's more fun that way. And he is a gunter, which means he spends a lot of his free time trying to find Halliday's Easter egg. Halliday is the original creator of Oasis, and when he died, he hid an Easter egg in the game of Oasis, and whoever is the first person to solve all of the riddles and keys and clues that can be found, get to the egg, gets all of his riches. He's a very, very rich man, considering that he created what everybody is now obsessed with. And it has been years since he died, and people still have not even unearthed the first clue. So, what do you think happens in the, first little bit of this book? Somebody figures out the first clue. And things get rolling again. Everybody's after the egg again. There's this corporation called IOI, which is also trying to get a hold of Oasis, but more for vicious means. So not only is Wade going to battle his friends and, regular old gunters to get to this Easter egg, he's also battling a huge corporation, which has a lot of power, and they will do basically anything to get a hold of that money and the control of Oasis. My initial thoughts on this book were how fantastic the world building was. Obviously, it's set in a sort of dystopian US future, but the world of Oasis and how well it is integrated into society, into everybody's day-to-day lives is really amazing. I feel like if I asked Ernest Cline a question about, something obscure thing that happened in the book and its relation to Oasis, he would know exactly how to explain it. All of the different suits that people can wear and the controls and the special sort of integration, how everything combines. It's just so well thought out. It's really fantastic. That being said, I have never read a book quite like this. It's just so imaginative, so different, so much fun because you're learning something new about a program that's never existed before. It's its own kind of thing. There's not another book like it. You're in Wade's head for the book. It's like he's writing this to you or something like that. You hear about his friends from his point of view. You also hear about his inner thoughts in terms of romantic interests and personal outlooks on things, and it really helps you understand who this guy is. I definitely didn't mind being in his head all the time. It was enjoyable to read from his point of view. It kept making me want to read because certain things would happen. Everyone would be rushing to get to another gate to solve another clue, and you just had to keep reading because you had to know what was going to happen. I mean, there are life or death moments in this. You have to know who's going to make it. I was worried that certain things wouldn't play out how I wanted them to. I just had to keep reading and figure out what was going to happen. Overall, fantastic first read of 2014. 5 out of 5 stars for sure. If anyone is looking for a different kind of read that you've never experienced before because you've never read anything quite like this, it's its own unique thing. Lots of crazy, you know, like adventures and cool stuff. Lots of good 80s references. I was not alive in the 80s, but there are a lot of things that are referenced because Halliday, the creator of Oasis, grew up in the 80s. 80s movies, 80s video games. That part of it is fun for what I knew. So if you're a huge 80s fan, you'll really appreciate the references in this. If you're somebody who's into video games, I think you'll also appreciate this because a lot of the book does take place inside this virtual world where playing games is very important. If you guys have read Ready Player One, let me know what you thought of it down below. Well, you know, trying to be spoiler free for the people who haven't read it yet because you want to go into this book spoiler free. It makes it much more fun that way. As always, all of our links are in the doobly-doo. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you guys later.